So just within the last couple days, Meta, or Facebook, like, they have just released something that was very cool. The new Llama 3 multimodal. They just dropped out, which essentially means that you can drop in images. So you can put in a picture. Like, here's their demo that we're going to look at. What era does this piece belong to? And then you're going to be able to click that in there, and it's going to generate and says, the piece you're referring to is a painting likely from the Art Nouveau era. Oh, of course. Okay, and it's going to be able to identify graphics in a multi-mode way. Okay, so that's very cool. If when you use GPT or Claude, that those things, you can throw images in there and ask it questions. A lot of times I'll get a message on my computer and I'll just screenshot it, throw it in, and it's able to diagnose what's going on. Or someone sends me a message and I don't want to type it out, I can just copy the message, throw it in there as an image, and they're able to understand and respond. So that's a multimodal. Meta has just dropped theirs, and what makes Meta's so special is that they have open sourced it. So again, whereas you're never going to get the code for Claude or ChatGPT, Llama is Meta is letting you have access to their Llama models, and that also means that these are going to be able to be fine-tuned for very particular tasks. For those who don't know, fine-tune means taking a base model. This will be called our base model, and then really making it for a particular task. So like maybe you'll make one that knows comic books just in and out, and you fine-tuned it on nothing but comic books, and that'll be an expert in that. So by open sourcing it, they give it to the little people to be able to make cool stuff with it. Next, they give it to the big people too to be able to good stuff. So now I know what you're thinking. Well, heck, am I going to be able to run that on my machine? The answer is typically no, because these things are so large. And Meta has put out a 90 billion parameter model for this. What does that mean? It means it's literally trained on 90 billion lines of examples, okay, of code, I guess you would say. So be like 90 billion examples for it to learn from. Okay, we're not going to be able to run that. The vast majority of us, there are definitely people out there that could run it, and if I had two of my machines put together, I could probably run it. Okay, but the good news is they've dropped an 11 billion parameter, which is very much more in the ballpark for us. So I run a 4090 with 24 gigabytes of VRAM, and I am able to run the 11 billion parameter, and it runs pretty fast. It runs pretty good. I would bet you could get this on a 16. I bet it was 16. You could run this, and the beautiful thing is, because again it's open source, this is going to be quantized. Now, if you remember in the past, we've talked about quantizing models. It's like we're cutting off decimals. So I have a number. It's like 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Or 9, 9, or whatever. That's a pretty precise number. Now, I could cut off 4 of those digits. Let's say I just kept 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got rid of the 6, the 7, the 8, and the 9. It's still a pretty precise number, isn't it? But it's smaller. It's not as precise. And so with these models, the people that get hold of these, because these open source models, they are able to quantize them, make them a little bit smaller so that they can run on machines. So this is only like day 2 that this is out. All right. So this is pretty exciting. I'm going to show you a demo so you can play with it and all this stuff online. But guaranteed within a week or maybe less, or I don't know, it's like this is going to be put into versions that you're going to be able to load it into your favorite chat web UI and do it. I'm a Cobalt CPP guy. Love it. Swear by it. I don't think there's any other app you need other than Cobalt CPP. But we'll have to wait for this to get turned into a GGUF file, and then it'll get quantized so that you'll be able to run it. And that's just how that goes. So today I'm going to show you 3 ways we're going to access this. We're going to look at the demo. that's online, which is cool. It means you can just access it. Unfortunately, it only lets you use it for a little while, and then it says, "Meh, you out of tokens. Can't use it no more." Okay? So the second way we're going to look at it is we're going to go on to the repository, and we're going to grab the code, and we're just going to make a real makeshift demo for it, just a real easy in and out sort of thing that we can play with. And the third one is that I'm going to then show you the ease of use installer that I went ahead and put together that you'll be able to get for $5 over at there if you just want to get going. And that's all unlimited. Yo! So before we do that though, please go ahead and like the channel and share it. I was thinking Halloween is coming up. Get little packets with the name of this page on it, and when the kids come to the door for trick-or-treating, just give them my website on there, okay? And get the word out there. No, don't do that. They're going to hate you for it. But do like the channel and share it with your people because it really does help. So thank you so much for doing that. I truly do appreciate it. All right, well, let's get on with it. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go look at the demo. Okay, this is the fastest way to get going. So what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to our browser, and we're just going to do a search here for Llama 3.2, and then we're going to type in 11B because they're letting us look at the smaller one, and then we're just going to type vision and then spaces, okay? And we're going to find this one under Hugging Face, a Llama Vision 11B, a Hugging Face space by Hugging Face. So we're going to click that. Okay, now if you don't know about spaces on Hugging Face, I guess I probably should do a video about it. They've got all sorts of apps on spaces that you can play around with. There are a lot of demos on here. So this is where Meta has put it. I don't like calling them Meta. I call them Facebook. They're Facebook, but whatever. Okay, so this is where they're at. So we're going to see here that we're able to use this, and you can see up here is where our answer is going to come from. Down here is where we're going to end up typing our stuff, blah, 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 blah. And it's got this this paper clip so that we can add stuff in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's add, I don't know, let's just add something basic. We'll just add an image, I guess. This is pretty easy peasy stuff. But you could just write on here, describe the image. Let's actually not do this because I don't want to waste. We only got so many of these they're going to let us do. But it would come back and it would describe the image. Let's look at some of the examples they have down here. What era does this piece belong to? We looked at that. Where do the droughts happen according to this diagram? What happens when you take out the white cat from this chain? So it's got a food chain image here. Okay, so it's got all the arrows going to different places. So you've got the mouse is going to the wild cat, the rabbit to the wild cat, which evidently, I guess, lions eat wild cat. So it's got a food chain. We're going to be able to just give it the image and say, what happens if the cat is removed from this image? So that's actually really high technology. That's pretty good stuff. Let's just use the demo. Click on this. What happens when you take out the white cat from the chain? Okay, let's just make sure that we're looking at the right cat again. Okay, I'm going to have my glasses on. It says white cat, but I think it's supposed to say wild. I think it's meaning to say wild cat because I don't see a white cat on there. Okay, so let's say what happens when you take out wild cat. Okay, so we're just going to hit enter, and it's thinking, yo. Okay, so now there it goes. If the wild cat is removed from this chain, the jackal population will increase because there will be more predators to control their numbers. This in turn will lead to an increase in the rabbit population as the jackal will have more prey available. Here's a step-by-step explanation. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's really cool stuff that it's able to look at that and then not just look at it, but reason through it. Okay, that wasn't pre-programmed into that. Okay, let's throw some stuff in here. Let's go over here. Now I have a particular funny thing that happens with my computer. Let's go over here to disk management. Create and format hard disk. Now I get a funny error in here. Now, I'm not worried about this error, but Let's say you are. You must initialize the disk before logical disk manager can access it. Disk 1. I'm going, well, wait, what's wrong with my disks? Now, I can just I'm just going to go ahead and click print screen, and I'm just going to copy all of this. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to pop on back over to my multimodal. I got to practice saying that. My multimodal. And let's go ahead and let's just clear this up. And I'm going to press Control V, paste it in there, and I'm going to say, oh my God, I'm so worried. I opened up disk management and got this error. My disks have been fine. But is this a sign they're about to fail? Comfort me, Llama. So we're going to go ahead and hit that. Oh, look at our stupid screen. Hold on, let's fix this down there. All right. So let's go ahead and hit that. Now it's going to think on it for a second. And there it goes. The error message you're seeing is a common issue to Windows 10. It's not necessarily a sign that you're dissing. Okay, so it goes on, talks to us about disk 1 management service issue. Okay, cause 2 corrupted system files, cause 3 disk errors, outdated errors. Well, I can ask it more questions. I can say, are my primary drives in danger? All right, so it's going to give me some. So it's going to give me some options. Now, if I threw this into, I'm going to tell you, if I threw this into Claude or ChatGPT, it's actually going to have caught that in that image. Let's see if I can pull that image up here. It's actually going to go ahead and let you know that. Oh, it's not letting us see it. There we go. It's actually going to point out that all my other drives are disk 0. So this isn't perfect yet, okay? And they say it's going to get fixed up. So it is giving us some good advice. Like I said, if you throw it in the big boys, it's going to catch the fact that all of my main drives are disk 0, and this is calling for disk 1. Okay? Which it didn't do. So that's, whatever. But still, it was able to recognize it, okay? Let's go ahead and throw in some text into this really quick. Okay, and this is a screenshot of my disk, or not my disk, of my computer specs. So I'd say, explain my specs, or to explain this. Explain this to me. Is this a good computer? Can it do AI work? And it's going to go ahead and put it there. For a cognitive build AMD Ryzen 9. Okay, so it's able to read it. Again, it's able to read the text. Ample, the Windows 11 Pro operating system is a professional grade version of Windows. So, yeah, so it says you're going to be able to do video editing, 3D modeling, and scientific simulations. So it was able to read that. That was really fast. So this is a really nice way. Back in the day, of course, I've been around on computers for a long time, and you just like typing stuff in. You just take a photo of it, and then you look at the photo and be typing it in. Now you can literally just screenshot it and throw it in to your multimodal. So that's pretty cool. Again, here we've got this. Where do the droughts happen? You could throw in big, complicated things and just say, explain this to me. Make it easier for me to understand. Down here, look, it's got one, where to find this monument. So it's going to actually be able to recognize images as well and then tie it into information. This is really high technology, guys. This is incredible. And it's now available on our machines. Again, it's not perfect, okay, and this is only an 11 billion parameter model, but this is phenomenal. 6 months ago, we weren't able to do this. It was only really been this year that they've really started talking about multimodal. And I think that we forget how fast this stuff is going. Literally 1 year ago, okay, ChatGPT was just starting up. I mean, like it was just going out there, and you could talk to it about anything. I mean, you could get it to say whatever you want, do whatever. And that was before they put blocks in it. I mean, it was bad. ChatGPT was awesome. I mean, it was like science. I mean, it was space technology, and that was only a year ago. And then they start blocking it down, making it more accessible for the public. Multimodals have really only come around this year, and I think that's the thing is we don't understand is that this stuff is going fast. And guys, you can run this on your computer now. It's pretty mind-boggling. And with another week, you're going to be running this in your llama.cpps, and you're going to be running it in your Ooga Boogas and your what is that other one? Your O-Llamas and your Cobalt CPPs. So the technology is going so fast. It is so cool. But there you go. That is the demo, how you do it. But you're only going to get so many, and then it's going to crap you out. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at how to build this thing. So, next thing we're going to do is we've got to find the, we're going to actually, let's just go ahead and copy this. I'll highlight, let's copy that. And then let's just paste it back into here. I'm not sure if we can find it under GitHub or not. I might have to get it from Hugging Face. So we're going to type it into there. Okay, and then it's going to bring up this on Hugging Face. So then we're going to go ahead and click it. So we pasted it in Llama 3.2 Vision. Now it's going to bring us up to here. And this is our model card. We're going to be using this. And what we're going to be doing is accessing this. This is the model. Now, we're not going to download this, okay? I mean, it's going to be downloaded, but we don't need to git clone this, okay? The system's going to take care of it for us and everything. Now, the first time you load into this, it's going to say that it's what's called a gated repository, which means that they're saying, hey, you can have it, but it's behind a gate. You need to get access. It's like you're going into some yard and there's a gate there. You got to press the buzz and they say, who's there? And you're like saying, hey, I'm here to, see Joe inside. And they're like, all right, let me buzz you in. So they're going to have to buzz you in. And to do that, what you have to do is you have to give them your name and your business name and all this stuff. They just want your information. Okay, that's the trade-off, and it's not really that invasive. So you just do it, and you're going to probably have to wait 20 minutes, maybe less, maybe longer, and you'll get an email back saying you've been given permission. So if you're following this and you haven't signed up, go ahead and sign up, hit the pause button, wait for that email to come back, and then you'll continue with the rest of this tutorial, okay? But now, let's assume we're back in, okay? Then you're going to come in here and you're going to see all that gated nonsense is gone. And you're going to be able to see everything. You can go through here and read through about the languages and the model families, the intended uses, all the fairness and equity and all that good stuff that they're going to be putting in all the preamble, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to get down here where it says use with transformers, okay? So transformers is how we're going to access it through Hugging Face. Now it's going to give us a few steps that we have to do. We're going to copy this here and we're going to run it, but before we can run it, it's going to ask us to log in. So I'm going to have to show you how to get your tokens. We're going to have to, basically a token just says, hey, I'm logged into the site. It gives the program access to your account and says, oh, he's signed up for the gated model. Okay, let's let him have it. Okay, and we're going to walk through that. But what we're going to do is we could just copy this and paste this straight into a notepad. But what it's going to do is it's just going to give us a one-off. It's like you got I don't know if you ever had one of these old 22 rifles. Usually you got a clip in it, right? So you can put it in there, get 10 shots, 20 shots. Well, you get a lot of these one-shot ones. You take a 22 and you put it in there, and then boom, right? And then you got to take another one and then put it in there. It's a one shot. That's what this code is like. It's just a one shot, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to throw it into ChatGPT, and we're going to say, make it a multi-shot. Make it something that we can keep using without having to load it for one shot and then reload it and then one shot. And that's obnoxious. And we'd have to go into the code every time to change the prompt. So we're going to fix that, okay? So, okay, you're logged into here. Let's go ahead and grab this, okay? Now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and open up, hold on, let me get this all sorted out here. We're going to open up our command prompt. Okay, there's our command prompt. And we're going to find a place that we want to run this. So I'm just going to run it in the temp directory. Maybe you want to put it in an LLM directory, okay, as a way to organize it. I don't need to organize this right now because I'm just going to do it temporarily, and I'm going to delete it because I've got it elsewhere. Now, if you're putting this on your system, put it in something like, make a directory that's called LLMs, or make a directory that's called AI software. And that's going to help you to organize your stuff. But for my sake, I'm just going to go mkdir. That means make directory, and I'm going to type the word temp. Bam. Okay, now I'm going to hit it. That has now created a directory called temp. Now I'm going to type cd temp, which means change directory, and you'll notice I'm now inside the directory. If I type dir, there's nothing there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a text file that I'm going to put this into. Okay, we're going to have to create our virtual environment and do all this, but I'm going to create a text file so that we can run this as just a one-off. Okay, and we'll do that, and then I'm going to show you how to turn it into something a little bit bigger. All right, and so we have our directory. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to create a, let's go ahead and create our virtual environment first. So what we're going to do, we'll just use a Python virtual environment for this one. We could use Conda. Let's use a Python one. Why not? We'll type Python. That's the name of the application we're going to run. We're going to go -m, and it says that we're going to run something as a module, like as an app itself. So we're going to take this Vim program, we're going to run it, and what it's going to do is it creates a virtual environment, and we're just going to call that virtual environment Vim. So we're going to name it after the thing. That's just kind of the common way to do it, and we're just going to hit that enter, and it's done. So now if you type dir, you're going to see that we have a directory here. But here's the thing, you still have to activate it. So we're going to type in the word, we're going to type call, which means that we're going to be calling an application. Okay, and we're going to say it's in the Vim directory, and then inside that Vim directory is another directory called scripts, and then inside that directory is a program called activate. So we're going to hit that, and then notice what happens. We're suddenly in our virtual environment. Okay, that means it's like putting paper over a table and that you're going to paint on it. If paint spills, it don't get on the nice table. It's going to stay on the virtual environment. Same thing here. Okay, so we're in our virtual environment, so we can start creating our stuff. So let's go back over to the web, and this is what we're going to do now. This is just going to be a one shot. Okay. Like I said, we were talking about that. So let's highlight it and copy it, or you can just hit this little button up here. Okay, and then we're going to pop back over to our command prompt. Now, what we're going to do, sorry, a little bit yawny here. We're going to open up a notepad. We're going to type notepad, and let's just call it run.py. Okay, and that's going to open up. That's going to open up this. Not that. I changed that out on us. Hold on. It's going to open up this. Okay, so you just go ahead, Control A, and then press Control V, and it's going to paste it in there. Okay, then go ahead, hit the file, and hit save, or you can just hit Control S. That's going to save it. Okay, now we need to look at a few things. It has Torch. It's going to need Torch installed into our virtual environment. If we just try to run this, we'll go try to run it, but you're going to see it ain't going to work. Okay, this pill is something called Pillow. We're going to have to install that. And it's going to need transformers. Transformers is how we're going to interface with Hugging Face. Okay, and then down here, the rest of this, you're going to see this is the This is the folder that we're gonna, this is the model that we're gonna interact with, okay? So it's gonna actually download for it. It's got all our settings, don't need to worry about that. It's gonna show us where to get all this stuff from. And then down here is the prompt. So if I had to write a haiku for this one, and then it's gonna give us the image of, I guess, that rabbit or whatever. So you would have to change this. So again, we're gonna end up creating we're gonna create something a little bit more fleshed out than this, but this is how it works. You would have to go in here every time and change this, okay? But we ain't gonna worry about that. So anyway, hit Control S, save it. Let's go back to our command prompt. Gosh, I'm sorry, I'm so yawny. Okay, if we type dir, you're gonna see there's our Vim directory. We're actually in our virtual environment, and there's our folder we just made. So now to run that folder, we would type python run.py. Okay, py is a Python file. If you see something that's .py, you know it's a Python file. Now it's not going to work. We want to hit it, and it's going to say it's missing torch. See, it's going to give all sorts of stuff. Okay, actually my virtual environment was already created, but here, let's do this really quick. Okay, I went ahead and just deleted my virtual environment so we could do this together. So let's try this again. Python run.py, and you say no module named requests. Okay, so let's go ahead and pip install requests. Okay, now if we do it again, you could just, this is one way you could figure out all the dependencies, is you could just keep running it and just seeing what it's going to do. Or like I said, you can just look, on here, and you can actually see it at the top where it says import. But anyway, we need torch. So to get torch, we're going to have to go back to our browser, and we're going to go here. So you just type in torch install, and it brings up this. Start locally. You're going to see this one here from PyTorch. Okay, so you set all this up the way you need it. It comes out pretty much what we already need. We're just going to grab this. Now notice it has torch, torch vision, and torch audio. Only one that we need is torch. And how do we know that? Well, we know that because when we went to here, the only thing it's asking for is torch. It would otherwise it would say import torch vision, and it would say import torch audio. It was just saying import torch. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our command prompt, and I'm going to clear the screen by typing CLS. I'm going to hit Control V, and it's going to drop it in here. I'm just going to use my left arrow, and I'm just going to go delete torch audio, delete torch vision. Now it wouldn't hurt if you added it. It's just you don't need it, and it takes extra long time to load extra stuff, so why bother? So let's go ahead and we hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and download that and install it. You're going to notice up here it says CU118. That means it's torch for CUDA. If you're running the CUDA 12.1, then that would be CU121. So we'll wait for this to install. I'm going to pause this because this takes a second. Okay, so that's done. Now, if we go back over to our here, we're going to see the next thing we got here is this pillow and then transformers. So now you can do these all in one line, but I'm going to do them separately just because sometimes they mess up. If one messes up, then the whole thing messes up. So I like to keep it separate so I can see what's going on. So I'm going to go pip install pillow. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm getting tired. I'm yawning. I'm going to go pip install my pillow over here in just a little bit. So it's going to go ahead. That was a quick one. Then we're going to go ahead and pip install that transformers. Okay? Now, this is going to come down. There's going to be some steps. Remember, we're dealing with a gated model, so we're going to still have to go in and get logged into Hugging Face. We're going to have to get our token and all of that. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that we need to install one more thing that's not mentioned on here, and it's called Accelerate. So we're going to go pip install Accelerate. I'm just giving you that one for free here. I don't know if I could spell it right. I don't even know if that's right. Well, I guess we'll find out. Pip install. How do you spell Accelerate? There we go. Okay, 1L. So that's going to be because the funny thing about large language models, you would think that image and video are the ones that are going to be taking all of the VRAM. Dude, chatbots are harder to run than image generation, okay, by far. So I don't know why that is. Maybe just because it's got so much it's got to crunch through. But you need to pip install accelerate. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. Let's clear the screen, CLS. We're going to go ahead and run our file, but it ain't going to work. Okay, we're going to type python run.py. And the reason it ain't going to work is going to tell us we need to log in. Okay, so it's going to take just about a moment here. Enough time for us to twiddle some thumb. See if I can make my finger move off. Whoa. Okay. First time you run these things, they always take a little bit of time. Okay, here we go. It says cannot access gated repo for URL HTTP blah 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 blah. Okay, so it says please log in. Okay, so we need to log in. Easiest way to do this, okay, or to if you don't know what to do, is just go ahead and copy this. Highlight, go copy, then go back over to throw it into your chat GPT. Because I can tell you what to do, but this is the way that you could figure it out on your own. Then just paste that into chat GPT. Now watch, it's going to come up, it's going to give us an answer. Oh, there we go, log in to Hugging Face CLI login. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, now, if you don't have this installed, okay, if you go in there and you type this and it says, I don't understand what this command is, come back in here and throw it in and it's going to show you how to install it. Okay, it's going to be the same basic idea where you're going to just pip install. So you pip install Hugging Face. Okay, mine's already installed. Okay, and then you would pip install, I think you go like this. Yeah. Okay. And both of those are important. So the first one you go is pip install Hugging Face. Okay. Enter. Then the next one you would type pip install Hugging Face and you'd put a bracket CLI. And that CLI stands for command line interface. If these commands aren't working, you need to do this first. Okay. But now that we're done, we could just paste in what the GPT told us. Hugging Face -CLI login. Okay. So that's, again, the app that we're calling, and what we're doing is we're saying we want to log in. So we'll hit enter. Now it's going to bring up this groovy page there with nice Hugging Face. I'm jealous of their ASCII art. Okay. Now it says enter your token. Okay. And it says it's not, you ain't going to be able to see it. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Now this is the next part. You got to go to your browser. Had a total brain fart there for a second. All right, we'll go back over to where we were at Hugging Face, and you'll see over here you've got this. So you can't quite. If I hit desktop here, you'll be able to see that I can hit settings. Okay, it's going to pop up. What we're going to do is we're going to hit them settings. Okay, that's going to bring this up over here, and then what we do is we click access tokens. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new token here, but don't bother using mine because mine's going to be deleted as soon as it's done. But so you click create new token, okay? Then we're going to give it a token name, so we'll call it Llama 3.2. And I've already got one called Vision, so I'm just going to call this one V. Call it whatever you want. It's just for you. But here's the thing we have to do. We need to go down here and click this. Read access to contents of all public gated repos you can access. Now remember, you already signed up. You should have gotten an email from Meta saying that you can access these things. So here's what we do. We've clicked that. We've typed that in there. Put that there. Then we're just going to go create a token. It's going to bring this up. Okay. Just hit the copy button. Once you click done, you ain't going to see this screen no more. Okay. It's going to be over. It's all over but the shouting at that point. So maybe just keep it up for right now, just in case we get some problems. Then you go to your command prompt. Okay. We're gonna click on here, make it active. Then we're gonna hit Control V, and you're not gonna see it show up in here, but just hit Enter. Okay. And it says this token can be pasted. Okay, you can also right click. Okay. So do you want to add it as a get credential? We're gonna put yes. Okay. Okay, so invalid token path. So I didn't get pasted in there right. So let's try it again. This time I'll just right click. Okay, now I'm going to hit enter. Credential, yes. Okay, this time it took it. Token has been saved. Now we can get access to that gated repo because it's going to have to download it. It's going to be a lot of gigabytes too. But now we can go press the up arrow, go back to where our app is, Python run.py. We hit that like that, go boom, and notice it is downloading. Yo, my goodness. It's like they held up a little hoop with fire, and we were like a little dog in a little ballerina dress, and we was jumping through it to get the goodies at the end, but we got the goodies at the end, and that is that it's going to download this model. Okay? So we will pause this because it's a lot. So you notice this is like 5 gigabytes for one of 5. So that means it's going to be like 25 gigabytes worth of download. Okay? Maybe what we'll do is while this is downloading, let's go work on creating our full application. So while this is downloading, let's click back over to our run.py. Let's hit Control A, and then that selects it all. Then we're going to hit Control C. Now let's pop back over to our browser. Okay, we can close this out now because we're done with it. Now let's go back to ChatGPT. I'm going to click this new chat, and all I want to do is I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go to Claude. I like Claude for this kind of stuff. Claude is really good. Let me introduce you to Claude. This is happy late night, Jim. So I want to say, turn this code into a Gradio app so that I can keep using it without having to reload. I'll say, notice it is a vision model, so grant access to upload files as well. Okay, then I'm going to put a colon there, and that helps the bot to differentiate the files. Then I'm just going to hit Control V and hit enter. Now I like Claude. Claude programs better than ChatGPT. So now it's going to give us this. Now notice it's added Gradio. We're going to have to install Gradio. So this is actually a pretty easy little app here it's given us. So let's go ahead and just copy that. Okay, let's, in the meanwhile, let's go see what's going on with our downloads. Okay, so we're going to need to create a new file because I don't want to interfere with the one that we got going. So let's do this. Let's just click, let's go to our notepad. I don't think you can see at the top. Let me see if I can get this for you. There we go. Okay, I'm going to hit this plus arrow. Okay, that opens up a new sheet. We're going to hit Control V. There's our new app. Okay, and let's make sure it's doing what we want it to do. All right, well, let's give it a go. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to hit File, and then we're going to, let me hit over to Desktop. So we're going to, let's run this over here. We're going to hit File, and then we Save As. Okay, and then we're going to make sure that we're in the right place. So mine was in Temp. Here we are here, and what I'm going to do is click down here. I'm just going to all files, so you can see Run PY. I'm just going to go ahead and call this Run 2. Now these aren't great names, but they'll suffice. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay. And let's get off of this. All right. So when we're done with our one shot, we're going to try running this one. So let's go see over here what's going on. Okay, so it's finished downloading. So now it's loading in the models. It's going to do its thing and give us our one shot. One, and then put the one in there. And that's the one shot, okay? Which is why we're making this other one. So I'm going to go ahead and pause that till it's done. Again, the first time you run these things, they can take a little bit of time. So, and that'd be the thing. Every time you'd ran this, you have to wait for it to load, and then, you know, and if it gets out of memory, then it's got to get back into memory. So, anyways, let's pause it, and we will be back. Well, there you go. I shouldn't have even paused. It was like 10 seconds later. So here's where it gave us our answer. If I had to write a haiku for this one, it would be, Peter Rabbit is a rabbit. He lives in a hole in the ground. He's a very naughty rabbit. There you go. So it downloaded that. We gave it an image in the code. Let's go back and look at it. This is our original one. It told it to look at this picture of this rabbit. Let's go see what the picture looks like. We get that. Yeah, that should all be fine. Let's go back to our browser. Let's see if we can see what the picture was. There you go. That's actually a pretty nice picture. That looks like a rabbit I'd like to know. So anyway, it looked it up and asked a question about it, and then it went ahead and answered us. Now, if we wanted to change that, what we would have to do is go back to our File Explorer. Then we would have to put in a new. We have to change the image and then ask another question. What would be a good recipe? Example. Then we have to save it, and we go back to our command prompt, and then we would run it again. Okay, and then we wouldn't have to download the files again. But notice it says load checkpoint shards. Has to do it every time. So by creating our own app or using the demo, then we don't have to do that every time. And there you have it. What would be a good recipe? I'm not able to provide information about the individual in this photo. I can give you an idea of the image's style, but so it was too human-like. It didn't like that question about things. So anyway, let's go ahead now and clear the screen. Again, we type dir to see the directory. There's our run to. Let's see if we can run this. Now I'm going to tell you it's going to throw us an error because it's going to say no module named Gradio. No problem. We're still in the Vim directory. We're still in our virtual environment, so we're just going to type pip install Gradio. Okay, pip is our package installer. And then, so we go, pip is the name of our program that we're calling. What do we want to do? We want to install. And we want to install the app called Gradio. Gradio. Alright, I'm going to pause it because it takes a bit. Okay, so now if we go in here, I'm going to hit the up, I'm going to hit the up arrow, and I'm going to go back to here. Now if we go ahead, Python run 2.py. Then we can sit and wait again. A lot of waiting on this kind of stuff. That's why you typically get your stuff loaded up and then you work with it. Okay, so there it's going to load our checkpoint shards. But this time, it's only going to have to load them the one time. Okay, it's like we're putting a multi-clip in there. Okay, so running on local. So we can just copy the URL, go back to our browser. Here we got where little Peter Rabbit is. Oh, what a handsome little feller he is. Let's just paste that in there. Okay, so there we have it. So now notice it didn't give us a place to put words. So we're going to have to actually change that. So it's giving us a way to upload an image, but not to ask any questions. So let's see what it does here if I just throw this image in. So one thing about working with chatbots, they're not always perfect. Let's come back, we'll see what that says. Let's click back over here, and we'll tell Claude, we'll say, Claude, you cheeseball. He didn't add a way for me to put my own text in. You're absolutely right, and I apologize. It'd be better if it says I apologize for being a cheese ball, but whatever. Okay, so there we go. So now it just gives us the new code. Let's copy this over. Same thing, we hit Control C. Let's go back there, see if it did anything. Okay, it ain't done nothing yet for us. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and close this out. It's going to hit Control C. So we're not going to wait for it to finish. Okay. Now we can go back. Oh, whoops. I was hitting Control C over here. All right, and then it goes back to here. Now we can go back to our file. Let's Control A, Control. Okay, I didn't copy it right. So let's go back to the browser, go back to Claude, right click and copy. Now we go back to here. Control A, V. There we go. Okay, now it should give us the input. So let's go ahead and press Control S. This time it saved it. We saved it under the run file there, so we'll have to remember that. All right, so now let's go back. Well, let's put it where it's supposed to be, actually. Let's undo this. We'll put it under run 2. Paste that in there. Okay, now let's go back to our command prompt. Hit the up arrow. It's going to load. Now we'll have to wait for it to load the checkpoint shards again. But it's going pretty fast, so that ain't so bad. And same thing, it's going to give us where it's running, so we'll just do that, or go back to the browser, paste it in. Okay, now let's just say hi. There, it gave us an error. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, interesting. So see, you're going to have to play with this. It says the error is no image was provided, but there are image tokens in the prompt. So you have to go back and forth with this to get it fixed. So let's, I'll do one more with you to try to get this good. So let's go ahead and copy this. And we'll go back to the browser. Let's go back to Claude. And we're going to say it's mandating an image. However, it needs to grab whatever it's given, or it needs to use whatever is given. If no image, then no image expected. And I'm going to say, here's the error. So you can get pretty precise with these things. I speak to it like a person, and it understands. And that's because it's trained on people speaking. Like, it literally, billions of lines of people talking with each other. So it's going to be very apologetic again. Oh, you are also absolutely right. It tries to touch your feet. Okay, I apologize for the oversight. All right, so it's going to explain it again. So let's go ahead and grab it here. Now, a lot of times you just kind of got to do this. It's just a back and forth. That's how this stuff works. Typically programming with this stuff is you fix the error. An error pops up, and then you have it fix the error, and then an error pops up, you have it fix the error, and then you kind of move your way towards the right thing. So I've got to Control A, and then I Control V to paste it, and then Control S to save it. Now let's go back to our command prompt. Same thing as before. We need to cancel out. Let's Control C till it's done. Now let's go ahead and run it again, because it has to reload the code. All right, so even though we changed the code was already loaded into the system. So we have to cut the server, reload it back in, load them checkpoint shards, and get this bad boy up again. Okay. Now let's see what happens if we say hi. It's throwing another error. All right, let's see what the error is this time. Yeah, okay. So it's still throwing errors. It's okay. You guys will get this. Okay, and that's why I make these one clicks, because you really do have to, when you're working with these chatbots to program, is you got to keep going in there and fixing stuff up until you get it right. So I'll let you, if you want to make your own, I'm going to let you figure that out on your own. We're going to look at the third way you can run this thing, and that, of course, is through just using the one click that I made over here. Where's that at? Here we go. So with this, all you do is, well, you would actually head over in your browser. You would just head over to patreon.com/cognibuild. Okay. You'd scroll down and you see it here, the Instruct one-click installer. So all you do is you just click on that, download it to your file, okay, and you'll just you'll see it here. You just extract it, and it extracts this: the run llama, the install llama, and the instructions. All you got to do is double-click the install llama, and it's going to do everything that we already did. It's actually going to download the demo that we played with earlier. Okay, so it's actually going to be the one that we were looking at online, but it's going to be unlimited. So you install it. It takes a few minutes. It's going to put everything into here, and then all you got to do is just click on this run llama dot thingamajigger here. Let's see if we can get over to that. It's not the one we want. We want this one. Okay, so it's going to load up this screen. And we'll just wait for it. Wait for it. It's like, wait till you see the white of their eyes, yo. It's going to. Okay, the first time you run this, you're going to run the installer. It's just going to come all the way down. Okay. Everything done for you. And then it's going to say you're done. Okay. Then when you click the run for the first time, it's going to download the models. Remember when we were doing the one shot? And we could see all the safe tensors, 1 of 5 coming, then 2 of 5. It's going to do all the same sort of thing. Okay, now this is taking a little bit of time because it has to load. The first time all this stuff loads, there you go. Now it's going to do all that. We're there. It's going to do all that checkpoint shard loading. Just don't shard your pants. Hey. I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, it's going to do that up. And then it's going to pop it up. And there it goes. There's our public link. So this one, I'm just going to hit the control button. I won't click it. And if we head over to our browser, you're going to see that it popped it up. So this was like the same one that we used at the beginning, except for that it's unlimited. So let me turn off the screen here for just a second so it doesn't freak out. And then now we can just say hi. 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 Hi, how can I assist you today? Okay, and then we can put in our images. So we can say, what would happen if one arm was removed? I don't know. Let's from this photo. Let's see what it says. That's my funny thing. Is like I got all these practical tools, and all I have is ridiculous stuff to ask it. But it's taken a little bit of while because my computer's running all this other AI stuff. But anyways, the bottom line is you get it. It works. That was the one-click installer over there. You just downloaded it. Did the install. Takes like maybe 5 minutes to download it, or well, to install it. And then you're going to do the run. That one will take longer depending on your internet connection. But then it pops up to this, and you're able to use it offline. Now, again, you really do need probably 16 gigabytes of VRAM to be using this because it's quite intensive. Actually, you can see my machine's freaking out. So it's because I've got this picture in the back going on. Let me close this out. There we go. I usually don't run stuff on making videos, but that'll run much faster on your own machine. So there you have it, okay? Llama 3.2 multimodal, very cool. It's only been out for a couple days, so you are like the first ones to use this. Go out and you can go to work and, you know, you're at the water cooler. You can be like, yo, I've been playing with some Llama 3.2. What have you been doing, yo? You know? So, whatever, however you get your cred, you know? So there it is. You can use the demo online. You can pull it down and do your one shot and then try to convert it into an actual app to use. Or you can just go ahead and get the one click and get it moving on. And I'm telling you, this is going to be improving over the next several days and over the next week or so. It's just going to be getting better and better. So you're in at the ground floor. Learn how to use it. Have fun with it. Let me know what kind of cool stuff you're doing. And as always, you stay good. And we will catch you on the other side. Yo!